Thank you for being right here with us on the Meltdown channel. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe. We've got plenty of content coming out for you all year long. Part of that content includes another edition of Laurel's List. It's been a big hit. We've really been excited to put these out, and we're going back into the horror realm again. Laurel is an expert in the category. Godzilla x Kong just came out into theaters, and it got me thinking, what would Laurel's favorite movie monsters be? Because at the end of the day, whatever you want to label Godzilla x Kong as, it's a monster movie, John.
It is, and Godzilla probably would make my list if I was doing it, but it's not my list. Clover would be up there, all those kaiju, but, you know, sometimes the smaller monsters are actually the scarier ones.
And, John, I appreciate you sharing a little bit of the spotlight here with this edition of Laurel's List. Laurel, thank you for making time for us.
Thank you for having me.
We absolutely love spending time with you. I want to get right into your mentality with the list, because this is a subject you know a lot about.
I sadly do know a lot, probably too much about this. I actually, when you asked me about this, I did a thesis paper when I was in graduate school for my qualitative research class. And I actually did mine. If anyone is ever curious about Universal Studios, the movie production, it basically exists because of the monsters. Their movies are the only ones that were short on profit, but they turned a huge return back. So when they were out of money, they looked to the monsters and they treated the actors horribly. Like, even people in Hollywood were like, oh, these are like these monster movies. Nobody cares. And they were treated like trash. But guess what? They are the ones that kept them in business. And they are the ones that I think, especially when we go to the parks, that they are still iconic that people look to.
I've been doing a rewatch of all of these classic monster movies. I'm working my way through the catalog, but I'd love to know, Laurel, what starts out at the number 5 spot for your favorite monsters within film.
Okay, mine, number 5, is kind of a little out there, but I think once I say it, it's a movie that Guillermo del Toro is probably most famous for, and it's The Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, which I think when you think of monsters, who doesn't think of the eyes coming out of the hands? Mm-hmm. And I think that movie is beautiful and just good. I don't know. Johnny, you haven't seen it, have you?
I have not seen it. I want to see this one. I just have not seen it.
Okay, Tim,
yet.
have you ever seen it?
I have. I saw it opening weekend. I didn't realize it was going to be in subtitles, and when I went in, I was not upset about it at all, because it's such an outstanding movie that the emotion that you get, it introduced me to films for the first time that have subtitles, and I went, you know what? This is something I will venture into, and I really liked it. Tyler, I want to see your impression again of this character for those who, once again, maybe need a little bit of a reminder of what it looks like. Give it to me here. Tyler does a good impression.
It's like,
yes, that's it. That was it. That was perfect, Tyler. Good job. And the Academy Award goes to not Tyler, but really fantastic.
Yeah.
Laurel, strong choice here, and that 5 spot is very important, because that's where the line is of who you're keeping out of the pack and the conversation. So
this is a hard list to do, because I love so many of these. But number 4, and this is in my ongoing debate with John, because he seems to think that the actor from this film is not like a scene stealer, but I'm going with Predator. Because Predator, to me, this is one of those movies I watch. My older brother is obsessed with monster movies as well. And so this is one that we had, I'm sure we rented it from Blockbuster. It terrified me. And the fact that you couldn't, the whole thing with Arnold when he gets into the mud and he's like, he didn't see me. And Prey, I watched it for the first time last year. Prey is a good movie.
it is.
And you're just like on the edge of your seat waiting for when she's putting all those contraptions together to see if she's going to be able to catch the predator. And it's scary.
We got to a point where both Aliens and Predators had run their course, and we're now in a resurgence. And a lot of it is due to how great Prey was. Mm-hmm. And I'm really looking forward to Alien Romulus, because I think it's got the same sort of vibe that Prey did.
That trailer
bring it back to basics.
So good. Like where the girl's in the front and it comes up from.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Xenomorphs end up making your list here, but let's go ahead and move on to number 3.
I miss Prometheus.
I can't do it.
Talking about Alien, I miss Prometheus. Anyway, continue.
Number 3 for me.
John feels so left out right now.
I knew I had to include some Universal monsters, and I kind of did 2 for 1 here, but I chose Bride of Frankenstein, because I think Frankenstein is one of the quintessential monsters. Boris Karloff, a lot of these actors, this could be a whole thing in and of itself, but they went through so many things to make them look like this. He actually put these special bridges in his mouth to have his face appear sunken in. They did so many tips and tricks back then because they had to use makeup that was probably pretty harmful. I know everyone knows that Lon Chaney put that big hump on his back to make him, like the Hunchback, and actually ended up having back problems. But I love the bride. The bride, I think she speaks to me because all she does is like kind of screech. That's like her whole existence.
And you're so much more into it now that Mia Goth's going to end up playing her too.
Yes, I love that. I love that too. But I think there's some really beautiful moments in that movie, especially because you can see how interested he is and to see his bride, and he's so excited, and she is just recoiled at the thought of this person, this human monster touching her. And then, of course, at the end, when he was like, "We belong dead," I think we see that at Universal all the time.
So at number 5, you have a Guillermo del Toro movie, and at number 3, you have Bride of Frankenstein. I have a feeling you're pretty excited about Guillermo del Toro.
Another Guillermo del Toro.
The Frankenstein universe, from what I can tell.
I'm very excited.
That's hitting all the senses.
And my girl
here.
Mia Goth, like John said, is playing her, so I'm excited about that.
And her and Jacob Elordi. Oof, you're all about that one.
Yeah. And Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
So there's 3.
So I got to go see it too.
Yeah.
Ugh.
She'd be saying woof if Ryan Gosling was still the wolf.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry about that. Let's go to number 2 on Laurel's list of best movie monsters.
Number 2, this movie actually genuinely scared me too, and it actually does have to do with Prometheus, but the Queen Alien from Aliens.
Okay.
Aliens legitimately scared me when I was younger, and Tim and John and Tyler, I don't know if I know Tim probably remembers. Do you remember the Great Movie Ride?
Oh,
the
yeah.
scene
with Ripley in the hallway. And
every year I would be like, I'm fine. Because, it pops out at multiple times. And when it comes down from the ceiling, it's on the side, then it's in back of you, and then it's over on this side. I would clench I would almost be bleeding because I'd be clenching my skin so tight because I'd be so scared.
The Great Movie Ride, that was the PG experience compared to the extraterrestrial encounter that they used to have on the Monsters Inc.
Yes, I cried. I like a baby every time I went on it.
That thing was terrifying. It was the second thing I ever did at Disney, and I thought it was awesome the way they did it. They had the thing licking the back of your neck. They had blood dropping from the ceiling.
Yes.
And Disney had to get rid of it because it was that intense.
It's great to watch. There's like some documentary stuff on YouTube about that. It's incredible to watch.
And it looks similar to the alien from this because it's kind of got that big head. But I think the scene with Ripley with it coming out of the stomach and just that's an iconic scene in and of itself.
I feel bad for having already jumped into the alien talk because I should have just waited to see if it made the list, but I cannot wait for this new movie that comes out in August, which is normally a time where movies are buried, and that's one of my most anticipated of the year.
It looks really good. I'm very impressed with the trailer. And then number 1, of course, I had to choose Godzilla because I love Godzilla. Again, my older brother, he is obsessed as well. So we grew up watching all the Japanese films. I remember the little mini Godzilla, the little like baby Godzilla, and seeing I remember the 3-headed, what's that one?
King Ghidorah.
That was like a big one. And, we had all these over at Homewood, the model shop. And we would always go, and my brother actually still has them. They are bunches of models. Yeah, we have tons of monster models everywhere. Godzilla, we've got the whole baby Godzilla, the whole pack. So, yeah, I think when you think of monsters, Godzilla is like the one that you go to.
John, you're obviously married to Laurel, but did you think Godzilla would be number 1? This seems like a little bit of a plot twist.
I did not. I thought almost the entire list was going to be Universal monsters. Honestly, you could have gone Frankenstein, Wolfman.
I was expecting to see Creature from the Black Lagoon
and
all those.
That one
she asked
hard.
about that one.
I almost thought that and The Shape of Water monster because those I feel like are kind of intertwined together.
They're kind of the same, yeah.
If this was a Luntz's list, am I correct, John, in thinking that Gremlins would be near the top?
Yeah, we actually talked about Gremlins.
The female
too.
Gremlin.
She loves the female Gremlin. I don't know why. Every time because for some reason we've actually watched Gremlins too a lot more than the original Gremlins.
New batch.
New batch. But yeah, she's like, "Can I include Gremlins?" I was like, "That's a monster." I mean, yeah.
And also, The Mummy is also big for me too because I love Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
And I also really liked, even though the movie's not that good, I liked the female Mummy from the Tom Cruise version.
So this had to be a really tough list
of
who you keep off the list.
It was hard. I think probably my least favorite is probably Dracula, just because I find that movie a little boring. I probably like Nosferatu. Probably I like the look of that better than how Bela Lugosi played him. But Frankenstein and the Bride are right, because we've dressed up like them for Halloween before.
We have.
Yeah.
Tyler, any excitement for Abigail coming to theaters here in the upcoming month?
I'll actually go see that one. It looks interesting, at least. I like Giancarlo Esposito, Angus Cloud, rest in peace.
Dan Stevens is in that.
Who was in Godzilla X Kong wearing
Beast?
a Hawaiian shirt the entire time.
That's Beast.
Oh,
Yeah, they
Trapper.
played Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Y'all all can tell me all about it. I am staying far, far away from that movie.
Would you count Beast as being a movie monster?
That's what I said.
She asked me that during when he popped up because she's like, "Who is that guy?" I was like, "That's the guy that played Beast and Beauty and the Beast." Oh yeah, does that count as a
That's
monster?
called
for the list?
research.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was like, I guess I don't know if that would count or not.
John, what do people not understand about how tough it is to really refine these lists? Because you have 5 spots to really pour your heart out, and everyone wants to throw, oh, well, this person should have made the list, and that person should have made the list. It's a good discussion point, but it can be very tough on you.
Most lists that you give me, and I'd say the same thing for Laurel or anybody that you ask this kind of question to, it's things you love. Tell me the 5 best things that you love. So it's like, hey, name your 5 best superhero movies. I can name literally 30 superhero movies that I would say I truly enjoy watching. I got to narrow it down to 5. It's impossible. With Laurel, I mean, when we go to Halloween Horror Nights, I mean, you talk about Kid in the Candy Store.
Oh my gosh, it's heaven, honestly.
Because like they had one a couple of years ago that was Wolfman versus the Mummy versus Dracula, and it was like they're all fighting each other. And they kind of like Godzilla. They explain this whole story. I don't care about that. Just show me what they're doing. Show me how they get fighting.
And there was a different winner every time.
I don't care why they're fighting. And she's like, which one do you think we'll get? Oh, could it be Wolfman? Could it be the Mummy? That kind of stuff, she geeks out over. Now, there's some stuff I enjoy there, but she loves all of it. So if you're like, hey, only pick 5 of these 10 houses we went through, she probably couldn't do it. It's impossible to do. Oh, by the way, let's take every monster in the grand scheme of things, even Godzilla, that's not even a horror movie.
And if you're wondering why Art the Clown is not on this, or Hannibal Lecter's not on this, or
Pennywise.
Michael Myers, Pennywise is a little bit more of a debate.
Yeah, because he's an alien.
But if you're wondering why they're not on there, it's because this is supposed to be creatures. This is supposed to be animalistic beings. This is supposed to be out of these world sort of things. And I think you did a wonderful job, even with the fantasy element of including Pale Man there at the number 5 spot. So wonderful job, Laurel.
Thank you, Tim.
I hope you got that out of your system. I know it can be very pressure filled.
I'm ready for Halloween, which is
Yeah.
every day.
We're all there. What?
Yeah.
How close are we? What month are we in?
It's March.
Summer Wing's coming. Summer Wing. Come
March
on.
is almost done. All right, that's going to do it for Laurel's list. We appreciate her contributions. John, you can check out Luntz's list every single weekday, sometime between 2 and 3:15 Central Time, and then just advance that an hour for the Eastern Time. One thing you can also check out is all the great odds that are up for play there at our title sponsor.
Go to mybookie.ag. Use promo code next round. Bet March Madness. Bet the NBA and NHL seasons, which are coming to a close. Major League Baseball just started. Bet all of those. Play the casino. Play the slots. Do anything you want to. Get a free first deposit bonus on us and our friends at mybookie.ag. Use promo code next round.
We've got some great monster movies coming out this year. A lot of them were discussed on a previous Laurel's list in the 5 upcoming horror movies that she's most excited about. Make sure you check that out if you have not already. That's going to do it for us here on The Meltdown. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel.